Listen 3000.
Yo, what's good, everybody?
Yo.
We're back for Listen 3000.
Yes.
I'm Zen.
I'm Caesar.
And we have some very special guests today.
Oh, yes.
But before we get into that, real quick, we have to say thank you to the Sound Gallery for letting us use this great space.
Yes,
it is a studio
amazing.
and event space, so, if you're in the Philadelphia area, need to record, need an event space, holler at us. We're here. And also, this is an Agents of Fandom podcast.
I was about to say, you can. I don't know even if you're going to say it the same or not. So
transition, we're going to get it. We're going to get it.
All right, come on.
But this is the Agents of Fandom podcast. Please check out agentsfandom.com. Check out the rest of the podcasts on the network. We got Tickets to Reality.
Support.
We got Fandom Academy.
Yes.
We got Listen 3000. And, of course, we got the Agents of Fandom podcast. And we got TJ and Garrett here.
You're so loud. Sorry. Jesus. But yes.
TJ and Garrett, the co-hosts of the Agents of Fandom podcast, and also the co-founders of Agents of Fandom. Give it up for them.
Yeah, you get the double clap.
Yeah.
You guys are so damn good at what you do. Like, I don't even want to talk. I just want to keep listening to you guys.
Get out of here. Well, you're talking today. All right.
The banter is top tier, but yeah, we're doing well. Thanks so much for having us on.
Of course.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Nah, facts.
It's fun to be clapped for in any capacity, whether it's fake or not. I appreciated that. So any chance we can get to hang out with you guys, we'll take.
Not too much. I got to stop. We got to get a stop sound. No, but y'all the best. Yeah, man, let's just get into it. We just want to ask y'all some questions because we want everyone to know how lovely you guys are. So just first, how did you guys just connect in general? I guess you want to say like where you're from and stuff to give the whole spiel, right? And also, how did you come about making Agents?
So it's a cool little story that has lots of bumps in the roads. I'll omit portions of it and focus on the positive aspects of it. But Garrett Rubin, who is our head graphic designer, producer, maker of all things that look beautiful on our websites and podcasts and YouTube, stuff like that. The three of us met doing social media for a website in the comic book news community, and we were the three main posters there for a while. They asked if we wanted to start up a podcast, so we were like, heck yes. And then that's where the three of us got to know each other better. And then the longer we were there, we tried to make some steps for growth and try and make some positive changes, because there were some things going on that we didn't really
some culture changes. Trying to make some culture changes.
Whether it be journalistically, ethically, morally, whatever you want to call it. And we had to make a change. And so got to the point where we said, hey, we either need some more resources or I think we're gonna leave to do our own thing. And they said, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Wow.
And so the Agents of Fandom began. We started up this website. It was the three of us for a long while. And then as you guys know, we've just kind of expanded with all of these amazing, incredibly talented people joining the team. And since then, the growth has just been exponential.
Wow. That was a phenomenal story.
Yeah, facts.
Yes. Also, shout out Ruben. I did not know it was all three of y'all, for sure. Definitely shout out Ruben. I did not know. That makes sense.
Yes. We could not do anything without Ruben at all. And TJ and I agreed beforehand that we would let him discuss this part because he says it a lot more delicately than I would have. So thank you for that, TJ. That was lovely. That's the gist of it. But yeah, it all kind of lucked out onto us, basically. And, TJ's from Canada. I'm from California. Ruben's in Arizona. So we would have never met if not for this opportunity. So thankful for all the bumps in the road for what they were, even though bumps in the road is a very nice way of putting everything. But it all led to this, and so it's all it all ended up being worth it.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
You know
what I mean?
Exactly.
Look where you're at now. That's beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy what bad times can make, though. I feel you.
All right.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Well,
pressure makes diamonds.
Right?
That's right.
I got emotion.
Yeah. So staying on Agents of Fandom as an organization, as a media company, where do y'all see Agents in the next 5 years? Like, what's the grand plan?
I'll throw that to you, G. That sounds like your domain.
I mean,
I'll just say something stupid. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was on the Ticket to Reality podcast. That probably just dropped at the time that this one dropped, and I was talking with Rachel Leishman from the Mary Sue and Collider, and now details coming soon, but soon to be Agents of Fandom member as well, as along with Lee Swift, finalist of season 2 of The Circle Netflix. Wow. And we were just talking about, like, on this reality show, like, would we be good partners together? And Rachel and I kind of determined that we wouldn't be good together because we're a little too similar. And I just like have this, when I get like hyped up about something and I get swept up, I'm going to be like, let's do this like right now. Like this person is doing great. We have to give them the world. Like we got to make this move. Like I'm so fired up. And Garrett's like, hey, how about you just you think about this a little bit? And so I have my strengths where it's like, hey, I'm going to word this very delicately in terms of our little intro, but in terms of like a good concrete plan, I feel like that's more him than me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely happened. I don't want to say more than once, but possibly more than once where we're recording something and TJ just says, this is happening, and like sets a date or a time frame and it's recorded and the episode release. And okay, well, we're stuck to this time frame now. And here we
go. Makes diamonds, I believe.
There we go. Come on. Oh, wow.
I didn't say that. And so TJ likes to take me at my word, apparently. But no, to go back to your question, I mean, the future is open-ended, to be broad. To focus it up, I mean, we definitely have some long-term goals that we are shooting for. I think we have an incredibly talented team, and a lot of them have, well, we all love movies and TV and stuff, right? And so I think an eventual goal of ours is like an Agents of Fandom film studio.
Wait, you talking that?
Combining the talents of everybody writing, musically, you know, we have some directors or some people interested in getting into that realm, definitely writers in the crew, and even an actor, and fully fledged author in Lee. So I think the future is bright in that aspect. We want to grow, obviously, more into music, into sports, into gaming. We have big aspirations in growing into different realms of anything that could be a fandom, which is, God forbid, that's a lot. So I don't want to hold myself to that standard. But like main fandoms, anything that could be popular, we want to kind of broach into that.
And that's kind of like the mentality that we want to keep, where it's like if there's any fandom, we'll branch into it, because when there was just the three of us, our goals were pretty small. But as we grow, and we have this platform, and this platform grows, as long as we have the resources for it, we kind of want to allow these people to branch out into our team, to branch out into whatever they want to be doing. And so whether it's music, film, sports, writing, journalism, kind of whatever it is, if we have this platform and we have talented people, well, let's find a way to let these talented people do what they want to do that they're talented in.
Exactly. And TJ even mentioned today, and this is, I guess I'm kind of pulling a TJ and mentioning something on a recording, but I won't put any timeline on us. Okay. I'll just float this idea, but maybe an Agents of Fandom Expo or a con or some kind of thing in the future would be a possibility. I think TJ would be a fantastic person fantastic and qualified, might I say, person to head one of those up. And I think that would be a really cool, like, imagine Marvel dropping some news at the Agents of Fandom con, that's just like crazy.
Yeah.
So, these are our eventual dreams. I don't want to say our 5-year goals or anything, but, and then I also do want to shout out, like, we have the Agents of Change. So I think within 5 years, I think we definitely want to offer like scholarships or internships, and really do some community outreach and like make a difference, create some change actually in the world. So on a smaller scale, and then eventually, if we get big like that, on a larger scale. But I do want to definitely shout that out as well.
Well, I was gonna clap it. I don't even should have clapped. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Y'all just trying to take over the world.
No, man.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I like that.
We say that to each other sometimes, actually.
Come on, man.
Not in a villainous way, in a positive.
No, in the
way.
best way possible. I mean, same here, man. Like, who doesn't, especially in this space? You know what I mean? Like, who don't want to just dip into everything? So we right here with you.
We
gang.
You we're here.
That's why we love y'all. That's
Mutual,
why this came to be. That's why
Yes.
this came to be. So it makes sense,
For sure, man.
Sure.
But so I got the next one.
Okay.
So do you both? I'm gonna say separately. Do you guys have a dream guest for your show?
TJ, you want to go first?
I mean, and similar to like the goals, I feel like the sky's the limit. But one of the things that we really want to lock in that we feel like would be so cool, just based on one of the reasons that we acquired our namesake, the Agents of Fandom, was we realized we were just really big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans. And so when our podcast started off covering mostly Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and basically nothing else, we'll branch out now when the opportunity arises. But that's kind of was the mainstay. And so Ming-Na Wen, Clark Gregg, the Chloe Bennett, any of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cast would kind of be the like super cool, like, shit, we did it. Full circle kind of.
Yeah, there you go. Full circle. Yep. Wow, that's amazing.
Damn. That's a great answer. That makes mine's a little bit selfish compared to that. But,
do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Off of that, I do want to say shout out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The premiere of Ted Lasso was the other night. I love Ted Lasso.
Me too.
Big fan. And so I was able to screen the first couple episodes, and there's a review up on agentsofandom.com. But without spoiling anything, I just want to say shout out to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There is someone from the cast who not a main member of the cast, you would think, but there is someone from the cast who comes in who I sneakily loved, and I think they do a great job. So I will say shout out to them. But no, you'll have to just see. We'll come back to this. We'll put a pin in this.
Okay.
So, man, you dropping bombs. Now we need the bombs.
I'm so excited because I've only seen the first episode. I got the screeners for 2, 3, 4 sitting there, and I haven't gotten around to it yet because I was trying to crush through Shadow and Bone to write this review, and so I'm excited for this cameo now.
Oh, man,
we'll put a pin in this and we'll talk. It's I would not say a cameo. It's someone who's going to be like in the season.
Oh, I'm gonna shut up.
Like a character in the season,
which
is why I'm not like saying anything more than that.
Yeah, we got to stop because I'm gonna start guessing and then we're gonna get in trouble. I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
So I'll move on. I'll go to my selfish guest, and this is shout out to my partner.
I have such a good guess of who it could be, and obviously
take a guess. No, I want to hear what your guess is.
Oh wait, I got one. You go.
If it's Hunter, I'm going to be so excited.
It's no, it's not Hunter. But that's a pretty good guess. It's like I would even say
the soccer guy in the show, right?
I would even say like a bit less than Hunter, like in terms of like level of character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're like kind of a background character, but then become a character. Let's just stop.
Did they also?
Oh, see, look, you doing the thing with the thing. Oh, snap.
Did they also appear in the first episode of The Last of Us?
Oh, we gonna crack this right now.
No, not that guy. Okay.
No, less than that. Way less than that. But we should just, we should put a pin in this. We'll put a pin in this. We'll go back to my podcast guest. There's a little bit of selfishness in this, just because I would love to, maybe potentially start a friendship with this person, because I just think they're really
Let's
cool.
Go all the way there.
Vibe.
Yes.
I think me and my partner would vibe with them. I love their music, and they are coincidentally a member of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though not in a large capacity, hopefully yet. But Harry Styles, actually.
Oh, that'd be dope. That'd be super dope. I'm about to say music. I'm like, I hear you now. Hear you. That's a good one. I like that.
Kind of a shocker, but yeah, we are big Harry Styles fans in this house. We gotta. This is a a hairy hang right here. He's a little like a scent thing, but you know, it is what it is.
I like it, man. I'm a hairy sauce fan. You ain't got to tell me. I like that one.
I'm a huge fan. So that would be like so sick for me. But that's selfish, not like TJ's, which is fan building.
Both matter, you know.
Here's the thing, self-care. Like I didn't even like. I absolutely glanced and I looked, but I didn't get a chance to like fully think through what I wanted to say for all the portions of the rundown before the ep. But it's a good thing that like this is why my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, not Batman. Like I don't need prep time. You know what I mean? Like I don't need it. I'm just ready to roll. Always.
Was that a Batman? Did Batman just catch a strike?
That was some kind of Batman slander, you know?
That was less Batman slander and more Batman fan slander, where it's like, he can beat anybody. He just needs his prep time. And I'm like, okay, well,
not over here.
If Spider-Man and Batman fight, Spider-Man is absolutely mopping the floor with them.
I ain't even gonna be. You got that. I'm with you.
Yeah, we can put a pin in this.
Ooh, oh my God, we're about to start a whole new thing. I'm with you.
Okay. Can I pitch a secondary guest?
Please.
Okay.
All right. I had a dream one night. A crazy, crazy dream. That the heads of like some smaller outlets, like similar to ours, had like a.
Like a meetup?
Yes, a meetup. This is going to make it sound villainous, but it was
not like a council. Yeah.
It was not villainous. It was like a council, right? We met with James Gunn and we were like, James, here's the thing. You are like incredibly active on Twitter. You strike things down when they're false.
Yes.
You confirm them when they're true, but to like on your own schedule, and nobody knows what that is, which is cool. That works. Do your thing. However, you know the world is tough. You know that outlets like ours and outlets run by POC and people that aren't trades have it's so hard to get access to things. So block them out. Send all your DC scoops to us, smaller outlets, and let us break them as you please. And then you ensure no leaks get out.
I'm kind of mad you just told your secret. You shouldn't even have told the world this.
You say it, you give per outlet each scoop, and then if that scoop gets out, you're like, oh, take them off. They no longer get any any scoops to break, and then they're out of the council. That council sounds much better than meetup. Meetup sounded pretty
I like it
shady.
We don't want none of that.
But yeah, so it would be James Gunn, and I would pitch him this council of lesser outlets, and that would be our out.
And it'll happen in the back alley.
In the back alley.
So it's still a meetup.
Is coming up from a manhole, so it's really legit.
Right.
Honestly,
really foggy night.
Right. Dimly lit,
Yeah.
Oh, just right.
Yeah, the
setting
vibe,
the scene.
That light vibe, yeah.
He's gonna be a little intimidated. There's a lot of people pulling up on him in the dark alley. I'd be scared. Ooh, I'm about to lock my windows.
I was thinking more like a Zoom, but
more like a Zoom.
There we go. That's much better.
We can put we can change the background.
There we go.
If we're still gonna be scared. Anybody in a back alley, we're bringing it from and this is a podcast, from our podcast. We need to bring in Adam and Ruben just because. Adam's 6'3", 6'4", whatever he is. Ruben's 6'1" or 6'2".
Yeah, some tall.
We're quite small in comparison to those guys.
Also, Ruben lives in the shadows because I've only seen his face maybe 4 times. So it is,
this
someone
makes
you
sense.
can see their body, but their head is just covered in shadow. That's so intimidating. Ruben would be that.
Oh my God,
figure.
he's like the man from the Proud Family.
Oh yeah.
What is he? I don't even know his name.
Oh, Wizard Kelly.
There we go. Yeah. Wizard Kelly. Yes. No, but seriously though, that is a great plan. You should not have told the world that. I don't accept that you told them. You should have told us off the air. Now somebody's gonna steal that. Yeah, there we go. Y'all didn't hear that. That's a great idea.
Or he hears this.
And then there we go.
Or he listens to the podcast and he hears it, and this is what
Hey, James, please listen to
You never know.
That would work too.
Patent pending.
There we go.
Well,
that was a great answer. Wow.
Since we're on James Gunn,
Do you want to just slide on in?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, transition man.
All right.
You like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you see, it's synergy.
Had the Euro step. Don't play with him. Okay.
But no, just recently, James Gunn has announced on Twitter that he is going to be directing the Superman Legacy film
And writing.
We kind of knew that, didn't we know that?
Yeah, but just, together.
Yeah, I mean, he confirmed it. Both, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's directing Superman Legacy that's going to release on July 11th, 2025. Fingers crossed. No pushbacks.
True.
And I seen a lot of people had some thoughts and opinions on that. Mainly, like, is he the right person to direct a Superman film?
Right.
I think that's an interesting concept, just based on his previous work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's not like he's also not very good at
I mean,
what he does.
that's who he is.
Yeah, I'm going to let y'all go. I want to know what y'all think. Actually.
I mean, I personally, I know TJ is not necessarily the hugest fan of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's not to say he hates it or anything. I don't think he hates it. But for me personally, I've never been disappointed by a James Gunn movie. So while initially I was like, yeah, I don't know if he would have been my first pick. I don't think he's incapable of doing it. And so I'm curious as to what it's going to be. It's obviously important because you get one chance at this, right?
Right. Yeah,
that's right.
Because this was the issue with the DC
before.
or whatever it was
Right.
before. Like, was started with Man of Steel, and it was you loved it or you hated it. And that going forward was the crack that initially became it was the fault line that cracked when the earthquake came. So there's obviously a lot riding on it, but he's the man that you hired to run it all. So if you don't have faith in him to correctly do this, then
why are you even watching?
Why'd you hire him? So you kind of have to put your faith in him, and I have nothing to prove otherwise as of yet. So it's kind of my thoughts.
I'm
So when we first started talking about this and we heard news that James Gunn is going to be heading this, my thought was I like this because I trust he's such a big fan of comics. He's going to find he's going to find all the right people for each of these jobs. And the first thing I said, I believe my direct quote was we're not going to, I don't think James Gunn is going to be directing Superman, but I think he's going to find the perfect person to direct Superman. And since then, I've heard him talk about so much about how the character of Superman is what got him into comic books, how the character of Superman and bonding over Superman with his late father was what made him fall in love with superheroes and what made him fall in love with the genre. That kind of made it change for me because what are some of the, from a writing standpoint, the best Superman moments that we've gotten in media over the past few years? It's John Kent stuff in comics, who is absolutely just lighting up people's screens. And then it's Superman and Lois is Tyler Hoechlin's Superman in that show, who people just absolutely adore. And it's because it is this light, hopeful, a god trying to be a man when he could be a god, which is very different to the kind of Snyderverse style Superman that we've seen lately. And so I initially, just based on his past projects, I didn't think James Gunn was going to be the person for this. But since I've heard him talk about Superman since, and why this is titled Superman Legacy, and what the source material he's going for, and not necessarily in plot, but in energy, it really kind of changed my viewpoint on that when I went from I don't think James Gunn would be good to oh damn, maybe this is his project.
He also said Peter Safran pressured him to do it. So I think that's a little bit telling, when he was like, I wanted to write it, but I wasn't I was kind of hesitant about directing it. And then Peter was like, you need to direct it. And I think that's a little bit telling. Sorry to cut you guys off so many times, because I do want to hear what you guys have to say about it too.
Y'all are on talk. What do you mean? We got you here. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I saw a headline when this broke. I think from Variety that was like James Gunn hires himself to write and direct the Superman movie, and I was just like, oh my god!
Like, what are y'all trying to do? We see this. You're right. Like, we see this, by the way.
Right.
Nah, that's rude.
That is, I guess. Technically,
that is what he did, but we don't like. We see,
man, don't do him like that. That's just.
Nah, that's kind of dirty. Nah, that's nasty work, especially with everything we're saying. Like, obviously, he cares. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, I agree with both of you said. If we're just going off a tone of the last movies that we've seen of him, it wouldn't make sense. If you're only going off of the tone, but like a tone is also based on what the material is. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's not going to make a Guardians tone for like, I don't know if you guys saw, he did like a horror superhero movie. It's called Brightburn.
I have heard of it.
It's not like
to watch it.
Yeah, it's not like amazing, but direction wise, it's crazy. But like the tone is not Guardian. You know what I mean? It's very much not there at all. It's darker. So it's like, I'm pretty sure he's good enough to know when to do what. You know what I mean?
Hopefully. But
are you the spicy one here?
No.
Hey, paprika.
I definitely agree with everybody's sentiment on it, especially seeing him say that he turned it down years ago, only to pick it back up now. Now he's the head of DC Studios and stuff like that. So I do feel like that is interesting that he made the choice to do that, especially being the first. That's probably going to be the first thing that we see, right? I guess from his regime.
The way that he made it sound, it's kind of confusing, but I think so.
As far as what he had, involved in, So I definitely think that's an interesting choice. But I like James Gunn's content, so I'm definitely.
You sound a little. Hey man, I know you. sound a little wary in there.
You
a little nervous?
You know, I'm not the biggest Superman fan anyway.
Right, so this already make you like.
I mean, I'm.
Are you just this? Oh, you just don't care. I'm getting to the real juice. That's what's happening right now. Zen doesn't give a damn about this movie. Say no. Because I can see some. What is it? You feel similar? Hey, you speak on it. Speak on it.
No, I'm here for it.
No, I'm saying both of y'all. What are y'all? Like, do y'all? No. Are you excited now because it's like, okay, James Gunn is making me more excited for it, or is it just like, nah, I'm still in the back of my head, like I don't really care, but like I'm gonna watch it because DC. And
to me, it's not. I don't care. It's more like,
what is it? That's how I'm asking.
It's James Gunn. I like James Gunn and Superman. Superman's cool, and we're gonna watch it when it comes out.
But that just sounds like next one. You know.
Nah, but
that's the thing. Is it's like.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I want to get a point on this, and then I'll ask them that question again after. But I feel like you got to nail three things for Superman, and that's he's got to look good, he's got to look, and he's got to fly like Superman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if that's like the most important.
That's one of three. That's one of three. Like the cast.
I hear you though. Right.
Feels like a paralyzed Christopher Reeves. Or
No. That's why people love Christopher Reeves. That's why people love Tyler Hoechlin. That's why people love Henry Cavill. Is he's got the Superman presence on the screen.
It's true.
No, that's facts though. That matters a lot.
That does. Got to feel like super. Yeah.
Two is you need to have the visual effects of this movie have to be damn good. Now that's not really a James Gunn thing as much as it is the new DC Studios, which of course he's the head of, and how much time they give it, how much money they invest into it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And third thing, I need the tone to be hopeful. I need Superman to be Superman against all odds, and you need someone who knows that character. And I think that's what James Gunn is going to be. For me, I don't really need the same thing from this movie that I kind of expect from Marvel movies at this point, where it's like, who's this next big villain they're introducing? What movies is this going to connect to? I don't really need to theorize about this Superman movie. And that's kind of why it's like, I'm on the same page as you guys a little bit, where it's like, Superman's dope. I trust James Gunn, and I'm going to watch it as soon as it comes out. But until then, I don't have the same like speculation I would from like certain other characters, just because I don't care about the exterior aspects of Superman as much as I care about. I just hope they make Superman how he should be.
Right. No, I hear that. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's
who's your favorite DC character.
Mine's Flash, so
I would say
this is a little tricky for me.
But Batman.
Wally or Barry?
Barry. Even though I think Wally's the best, I just like Flashpoint. It's a little cheating.
Fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's might be the main so.
So the point of my question is that when we initially talked about like when the DC slate dropped and we talked about this on our podcast, and I was like, TJ, you threw it to me, and I was like, I don't really have that much to say. It is what it is. It's not that I don't like Superman. It's just that I'm less excited for him than I would be for, say, a Batman movie.
Here, okay,
yeah, same.
And I agree.
So it's not that I'm like not excited for the movie. It's just that like I also like Batman. So like if a Batman, like if we're talking about the Batman movie, I'm going to be speculating and like kind of like what TJ was saying, or you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're gonna you want more info. Yeah.
This like I'm gonna definitely go see it. I feel much more positively about this than I do about like say shots fired here, but like the Shazam franchise, like I'm not really excited to go see
the whole franchise.
Yeah, like the first movie is like it's good. I don't like hate myself for watching it, but the second one I don't really. I'm probably not gonna go see it, to be honest. Like I don't really care at this point.
I'm not quite at that point. Like my tickets are already booked for Thursday for opening night. I'm going to be there, but
well, you can tell me all about it. I'm happy to.
We're going to be listening to the Listen 3000 podcast for the breakdown.
Yes, you are. This is hilarious.
We're going to be listening to the Fandom Academy podcast for the breakdown.
Yes,
of Shazam,
you are.
And we're not going to cover it. We're going to be sitting on the Agents of Fandom podcast being like, hey, go to these two ones. But I am still excited to see it.
I don't know how happy I was when I saw that. When I saw that text come across my phone, I was like, woo, baby.
This is so funny right now. Just, I don't know. It's too much. It's just too funny.
I'm with you, though, that I have way more excitement for something like a Batman movie. But interestingly enough, for me, that actually has nothing to do with Batman, just because like I'm Batman's fine. I don't dislike Batman. I love superheroes, so I like Batman.
Right, me too.
But I love the Bat family. I love Barbara Gordon. I love Oracle. I love like Dick Grayson is my favorite DC character. That's why like when we got this DC slate announcement, I kept making jokes about like this is going to be a full hour of Dick. I'm going to talk about nothing other than Dick Grayson because hey, the Batman 2, Matt Reeves, the Batman 2, I might get young Dick Grayson. I might get young Robin. Yeah. Batman the Brave and the Bold in the upcoming DC universe. Damian Wayne exists. We know that. This is about Damian Wade and Bruce Wayne. Well, that means that Dick is already Nightwing. Nightwing is the best. Like Nightwing is my favorite. Nightwing, Terry McGinnis is Batman Beyond, and Virgil Hawkins Static. Like those are my big three DC characters. And so the fact that like we could get just that right off the bat, like we're already going to have Nightwing, I'm so excited about. In theory.
Yeah.
I'm right with you because I want to see Batman for other people. So it's not even a diss to Batman, I guess. Yeah. So I guess it's just all of this with. Oh, sorry. What are you going to say, Garrett?
Maybe Batman is a bad example because that's like a super popular.
Nah, I hear you.
Like, just like your favorite hero.
Exactly.
Insert your favorite hero here, and that's the excitement that you're going to feel for that movie. That's kind of what But obviously, Batman is that for me, so it works, and for you as well, Zen. So
most people, we know y'all Bat people.
Yeah,
we know, we
people,
get it.
That's the thing, like I always make this comparison of like Batman and Spider-Man are New York and LA. Like you look at the NBA, you got the Knicks and you got the Brooklyn Nets. You look at and you look at the LA, you got the Lakers and Clippers. Same thing for baseball, always at least two teams. Same thing for hockey, two teams. And the reason and Batman and Spider-Man each can house that. You can have Matt Reeves.
I feel like one of those teams is usually a lot worse than the other one.
You just killed an amazing reference. Stop it.
You're low-key taking shots here. You're like, oh yeah.
I was about to say he was spitting
we're
too.
The Lakers, but you're the Clippers.
Hey.
You know what? Recently, it's okay.
Are the 5 seed and the Knicks are.
See, I was about to say there's been some progression, but anyway.
All right. Historically,
the Dodgers are the Dodgers, and the Angels have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
Okay, so now we're just directly
being more specific. Okay.
Anyways, back to my point. you can have the Matt Reeves and also the Batman Brave and the Bold.
Right,
like you can run two Batmans at once. If you ran, there's a reason why Sony keeps trying to make all these spin-offs from all the random side Spider-Man villains. There's a reason why they could have Into the Spider-Verse, Tom Holland Spider-Man, and a whole nother universe with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and all of these movies would make money.
Right.
And like those are the big kind of two, like Marvel and of course DC each sort of have the one. And I feel like anything else doesn't really come close at this point. Like even Spider-Man, even Superman, which is like that is Superman. That's one of the most iconic figures ever.
Still not as popular.
They don't have the same fan base as Spider-Man and Batman.
Which is interesting. I never thought about that. That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Well, you were just spitting, my friend. Jesus.
Yes. All right.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Got to get congratulated by Tyrese. Have to.
I need y'all to pick the clips for the audio for my soundboard because mine's not good.
Got to get Tyrese in there. Got to get Tyrese in there.
Yeah. Send me some stuff. Send me some clips.
Yeah, got you. So we're going into some Marvel things. It was announced recently that Jon Bernthal, right? Am I saying the same right?
Bernthal.
Or Bernthal?
Bernthal.
Berenstein. I'm sorry. Bernthal? Am I saying it right now? All right, let's not get into don't bring in other stuff. It has been announced that he's coming back.
Was it blue or was it white and gold?
Yeah.
Let's not do it. Stop. Oh no. I'll be here. We'll be here for days if you do that. But yeah, he was announced that he's coming back as Punisher in Daredevil Born Again. Do we clap for that or doesn't?
Yeah, of course we clap for that. Come on.
You just didn't do the noise. I know. Trust me, I'm excited. I didn't hear a noise. I was like, all right. Yeah, but at the same time, because we can talk about all of it at once, right? Yeah. At the same time, it was announced that other people will be recasted or not show up at all, right? Yeah. So the character Vanessa, do you have the actor name? It's okay. I don't. It's cool. Yeah. It's cool. But I know Vanessa, the character Vanessa is being recasted. I also know that Foggy and Karen Page will not, at least as we know right now, won't be in the show, as what we know. At least because it's already shooting, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good news, bad news for some people, or sad news for some people. What do y'all feel? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. I'm hot.
I was late to the Netflix Marvel stuff. So I have recently watched.
Yeah, when did you watch that? Like a couple years, like more recent. Right?
Like when they got on Disney Plus, I binged Daredevil and I binged.
Yeah, but that's more recent, right?
Punisher.
Wow, okay,
yeah,
got you.
Yeah, I was late.
Like what? That's a long time, right? I'm like, damn. Especially someone that like watched it on Netflix. I'm like, oh my god, that's a long time.
No, I was like in college. Like I remember that was like a long time ago.
Honestly, that might be fire. Did you watch both Punisher and Daredevil? Yeah. So you probably got the binge crazy though, right?
Stuff. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was dope.
But another reason why you guys got to watch Shadow and Bone. We were talking about this a little bit more off screen, is because the same actor. We were talking about sports analogies. Damn, still in my head. The same actor who is Jigsaw in Punisher, Ben Barnes. That is the main antagonist. That's like the Shadow guy that I was talking about in Shadow and Bone.
Oh, that's sick. Oh yeah, no, I'm dead. I was already about to tune in. So
that's awesome. But yeah, Jon Bernthal's Punisher was one of the bright spots of that whole Netflix Marvel
second
thing
season
to me. You know what I mean? So to hear that he's coming back, everybody been wishing that he was going to come back ever since we found out Daredevil was coming back. So I think this was just icing on the cake on this Daredevil thing that we've been wanting for so long. Right. You know what I mean? So I'm over the moon.
Cool. Yeah. Me, I feel exactly what you said. I guess I'm not happy that Foggy and Karen Page are coming back, but also it doesn't. What they brought to the show is incredible, and it made a part. Like if you take them out of what we saw in that Netflix show, no, it's a different show. Like I'm not even going to disagree there, but that doesn't mean that we need
for this
this new thing, especially when we don't know what it is. That's just how I'm looking at it. Right. It just sucks for me because I really like those actors at all, but I mean a lot. But nah, man, we can John. I'm cool. Yeah. I'm a complainer. I'm good. I didn't matter. Like as long as we were getting Punisher and it was him. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And Kingpin. Honestly, that's the ones that were like have to be them. Besides that, I'm chilling like a villain.
Yeah. What you guys think?
For me, like everything I said about Superman, reverse it for Daredevil. I feel the polar opposite. Ooh. And so like to use and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm so freaking excited for Daredevil.
Take away my.
I mean, is like for Daredevil. If for Superman, I was talking about, like, to me, the tone is just so important. The energy of the show is just so important. The movie is just so important. Man of Steel, I think, is a good movie that is not about the character of Superman. I think it's a great movie. I just don't really think it's a good Superman movie because it's not very true to the character. But in terms of Daredevil, that's one of the awesome things about him is he fits in everywhere and he's amazing everywhere. He shows up in everyone's comics. He's on all of these different teams. He can be funny. He can be dark. He can be emotional. He can be horny as hell. He fits in everywhere. And I'm so excited. And like for Superman, I was like, I don't care if he interacts with anybody else. In Daredevil, this shit's 18 episodes. Like, I'm so excited for him to all this interaction with Kingpin, with Punisher. It's probably going to start with She-Hulk still in it. Like, either that or she's going to come in at some point. I feel like we have to assume that she's going to come into this show at some point. Even though Foggy and Karen aren't in it yet, or maybe they'll be recast, we don't know. Somewhat disappointing, but I don't really care. Like, I would love to see them show, like, if they're just not on the casting call sheet yet because they don't show up to the end of the episodes, and like he was just in Matt was just in LA for She-Hulk. The filming pictures that got leaked was they were filming in Harlem, and apparently it was right outside of Pop's barbershop from Luke Cage. Oh, wow. And so, and the tagline was like filming in progress, no parking, and the title's name was Out the Kitchen. And so, like, maybe he's just spending a lot of time out of Hell's Kitchen, and that's why he's not hanging out with Foggy and Karen. He's defending all these different people around New York. He's bopping to California to see my Canadian brain is coming in. Bopping to California to go see Hulk and get it in a little bit. Yeah.
He said, let me slide to LA, get some cheeks, back.
What if Kingpin is going to be the main antagonist in Spider-Man 4, and what if we get Tom Holland in this show, like stuff like that. Like, I'm so excited for the potential of who will Daredevil interact with throughout these 18 episodes.
And there's an article about that on agentsofandom.com that you can go check out. I will say, first of all, I remember I was current with the Netflix, like, Marvel stuff when it came out. I watched it like pretty much the entire way through. And the Punisher, that first season, is like just such a incredible season of TV. Like, just one of the best seasons of TV to me. It's just how everything plays out is just so awesome, and Jon is just so perfect in that character. He's like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark to me.
Talk about it.
So getting him back is obviously, it's almost a no-brainer, for Kevin Feige and the crew. However, talking about, the character of Vanessa being recast, and obviously there's been some differences with the character of Wilson Fisk that we've seen in Hawkeye. It begs the question of, like, is this not canon? Does that confirm it is canon? Like, what is canon? What is a different universe? We tried to talk about
this too. That's a whole thing in itself.
Yeah.
It does ask a lot of questions, especially with Karen and Foggy seemingly not coming back. And that saddens me a little bit. And I'll say
my headcanon.
I hear it though. It does make me sad.
My headcanon is just that it's a very similar universe to ours in the multiverse, and just like not the same one. But
that's what I like. That's what he says.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's what's gonna be happening. Do y'all think that's what's happening though?
It's annoying to be able to just pick and choose.
Exactly, because are they gonna ever confirm anything, or are we just always gonna just have to make our own?
Because there's obviously like things that you like that should change, let's get another Iron Fist. That's like a no-brainer.
Right, like how was exactly like let's say if some of the rumors are true, just going off of that. Like if Jessica Jones does pop in the show, because we just heard she posts pictures and stuff all the time. If she's the same actress and then we get a whole new person playing like Luke Cage or something, it's just going to be confusing if they don't say anything. If there's no lines or anything that just like, I don't know.
I think just how in She-Hulk, we just sometimes they just get a random mention for context of it's like the Sokovia Accords have been repealed. I think we'll get something like that, or even something from Iron Man 2 when Don Cheadle walks into the court and he's like, "Look, it's me. I'm here. Get over it. Don't make a big deal."
Yeah, you know,
right.
And it's just like he was saying that to Tony Stark, but in reality, that was meta of like, I'm the same character. I was recast, whatever. And so I could see something about just like a mention to like, oh, that never happened here. Like that was a poor example.
No, I hear you though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That will do something like that. That just kind of gives some type of context to the multiverse. And I think one of the biggest things that will connect those dots for us to, and I'm team, that was just another timeline in the multiverse. Like maybe they had an Avengers too, and it's like almost all exactly the same. I kind of just feel like it doesn't really matter, but they're going to say something to comment. And the reason why I think it'll be a different one is they won't want to, if Daredevil is a big part of the future, I can't imagine they won't want to have Elektra involved. And Elektra has just been so used and died and then didn't die and then died throughout.
Nah, you're right about that one.
Yeah,
that like I could see them using a completely different actor for Elektra and just like bringing in a new Elektra storyline somewhere down the line.
I would like that too.
But that begs the question then of like, you know, Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Woll are pretty universally liked in their roles.
It's true. It's true.
Granted, I am not a fan of Karen.
The character you're saying, right?
Her character.
Hear that one.
Deborah's portrayal of that character is fantastic.
Yeah, that's probably why you don't like her, because she killed. You know what I mean? Because she acted so well. Like, yeah. Like,
let's be like, she's just kind of annoying, to be honest. She's annoying to me. The character's annoying to me. And granted, she does like similar things that are like. She does, like Daredevil does similar things that are also annoying, but like he kicks people's ass and then does like ultimately better things in the end. Right. She just like, you know, she gets her stories out and it's cool, but she like annoys her way to the,
she does a lot.
The source.
She does a lot.
Just getting a bunch of really good people killed. That's the other thing, right? Ben can be alive. Ben can be alive.
Oh, true. That's true. And I did
like him. Yeah. I want those characters back. It seems weird to pick and choose those things, and we're having 18 episodes, and you can't just chuck them in for
That's what I was thinking.
You
never know. Maybe they'll slide on in the 18th, and they're just lying to it. Like you never know.
True. You never know. But it just begs a lot of questions.
It does. It does. I guess we should find them out soon.
That's kind of to me, like if you really zoom out of this, what this kind of looks like is like, so the news on who was on the call sheet was embargoed until filming starts.
Okay.
Right.
The reports can't come from the trades. They're all allowed. Like, it's not like they just saw it that day and wrote up an article. They saw it whenever they saw it. They talked to Disney and they talked to Marvel Studios and they go, hey, when are we allowed to talk about this? Filming starts on this day. People will probably see Jon Bernthal and Charlie Cox walking around New York. Right. So you can talk about it this day. And so just because those people weren't there filming whatever they were filming.
Exactly.
And they weren't on that list of people filming whatever they were filming. I don't think that necessarily means they're not going to be there at any point. I think that could honestly just mean like they could appear on the phone. They could appear on a Zoom. You know what I mean?
I was just thinking that. It could be like a FaceTime or something like
Good
that.
Call.
Like, oh, I'm in wherever you are.
There we go.
You know?
There we go.
I agree with all of this, but I do, and I could be wrong here, but I believe the original report said something about like our sources don't believe that they're going to be involved. Like it wasn't just like they're not on the call for like this round of shoots.
It was like, by the way,
we've talked to sources. Sources don't believe like they're going to be involved in the shooting, and that was my understanding of it. I could be wrong, but
the thing I saw on it was just that it was unknown whether they're not in it or if they're being recast.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Right?
Definitely.
And, Zen has this. Is this what is this? Hollywood Reporter? What's his name?
Yeah.
It said it's unclear whether those characters will be recast or excised from these.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
But we'll see.
I apologize for spreading misinformation.
Nah, man, you speaking your truth. How about that?
It's gonna be so interesting.
That gets murky.
This is an 18 episode series. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it might not even be one of those things where, it's like 100% done
when
we start it. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a 6-episode limited series. Like, this is,
thank God.
Don't they shoot all year? I heard they shoot all year
for 40. Yeah, it's a year-long shooting. Jeez. And they're like, we're gonna be watching this for 40% of the year.
Yes,
like a little less, like over a third, under 40% of the year. Like, crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like this is going to be one of those things where we might have even only seen the stuff for the first 6 episodes. Like, we might have only just got like releases for the first arc.
The more you say that, I think I'm like, hold on, we only heard about the character Daredevil, Kingpin, and Punisher. We didn't even hear no cameo. So I'm like, nah, we don't know anything. Yeah, we didn't hear a mention of She-Hulk, and I believe that's there too. Like, showing up. See, I mean, there's going to be a connection. You think he's fully showing up? Like Tom's going to be in it?
I think so. I think there's going to be
that's a big one. That's all. Yeah. That man seems like he asked for a couple of dollars. Is that a part of that deal?
There's going to be a contained Spider-Man episode.
A whole friend, please. Did you talk to Kevin? Because I'm going to need.
Okay,
I need this to be true.
Let's circle this back to our namesake, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But all the way back then, they were chucking Sam Jackson in.
You're
like
right.
Multiple episodes, not just one. Like, correct. He's in like 3-4 episodes, maybe. So, like,
very big person.
It's possible. Right. Why would we not do that now when it's and
it makes gonna make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if this has fizzled or if it wasn't true or if it's been changed, but I remember us talking about. I remember there being reports of like literally a year ago when we were first starting of like, in Tom Holland's new contract, he'll be appearing in a show. And this just has never happened.
Actually, that did not happen.
That's never happened.
That's true.
And people were thinking like, oh, is he going to be voicing the character in freshman year? Is he going to be voicing the character in What If? And he's not. He's not doing any of those things.
Ooh, you're spitting
and so like, I think this is still going to come at some point. Shout out to Aaron Perrine from comicbook.com, one of the hosts of Phase Zero. He keeps talking about how he thinks Tom Holland is going to show up for in live action and into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, sorry. He thinks there's going to be a sequence where Tom Holland will be there in live action. There was a recent report that the main player for Kang Dynasty, the main person for getting screen time, will be Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I think we could be close to the relaunch of this is the new Iron Man. This is the new head of the MCU. And I think he could start popping into a bunch of different places like Iron Man has through phases 1 through 3.
Yeah. You win. Whatever it was, you won it.
I love that.
Please, I'm not even going to say nothing. Yeah, what am I supposed to say?
No, I need that.
Right? Yeah.
Thanks, TJ.
Yeah, right now I got to go to sleep, which I'm not going to be able to do. Thank you very much. All right.
For the tease of it, if you just need to cleanse your palate, just like something to satisfy that craving, go to Disney Plus, watch Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s, and there's a couple episode arc where Peter Parker is being framed. His Daredevil is Matt Murdock. In the meantime, Spider-Man and Daredevil, they're both trying to clear Peter Parker's name, and they start fighting each other because they don't know they're on the same team, and then they team up, and it's top tier. Chef's kiss.
I think it definitely makes sense to like tent pole the MCU moving forward around Tom Holland, who is who has become such a massive star. I will say, though, it presents an interesting situation with Sony of having to be like, they're like, oh, you want him to do all these things and, moving forward, he's got to be. And let's be honest, Iron Man was in so much shit.
He was, yeah.
Then you got to give them, more acts. Like, I'm just curious as to what that would entail. I think it's a logical direction. Mm-hmm. I don't have an answer to this, but I'm just raising that question.
Because then it's like one day, when is the Miles live action happening, and who gets that? Like that's a whole nother. I hear you. Yeah, like what's going to go? It is a custody battle. Jesus, oh my god! And we're the people in the stands. I don't want to.
That's the other thing too. Is like all of a sudden once we get Miles, when Tom Hardy, and like so the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, post-credit scene of Spider-Man No Way Home, a little bit of the black goop, a little bit of the Venom symbiote is still sitting here in our universe. Are you trying to tell me that we're not going to have Tom Holland in the black suit for Secret Wars just like he is in that damn comic book cover?
Because why the hell else did you show us that?
Yeah, right. Eventually Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man are going to be fighting each other, and like Sony's going to be cashing their checks.
True.
And I think it's always just going to come down to, yep, you can use them, just give us X amount of money. And then they'll fight over how much money that they want to be given. Et cetera, et cetera. I do think that's so wild when you think of how popular the MCU has been to date, and people wondering like, oh, if I don't have my Robert Downey Jr. and I don't have my Chris Evans, can this continue? Like, can this fade? Like, I don't know if this will be popular enough. No one gave a damn about Captain America and Iron Man 15 years ago. No one cared 20 years ago. No one cared even a little bit. Marvel was going bankrupt, and so the only reason they could stay stable and exist was by selling their most popular characters, by Spider-Man to Sony, and the X-Men to Fox, and Fantastic Four to, was that also Fox? Whoever that was.
Yeah, it was Fox.
To Fox. And so they sold their three biggest properties, by far their three biggest properties, just so they could stay afloat. And now they have two of those three back, and the other one they have shared custody of. We haven't even seen X-Men yet. Spider-Man still exists here in the forefront. We haven't even gotten Fantastic Four yet. So I think we're still in for some bigger things than we've even seen yet.
For sure.
Did you just get me more excited than I was? Like, we talk about this stuff too, you know? Like, I'm like, what? Now I'm like, where's Secret Wars? I need it tomorrow.
Right.
And this is from Daredevil. Like, what's going on? Nah, but seriously, y'all just killed that. Yeah, you do this next one.
Okay.
You do this next one.
This is like closing in on
You're
the
excited
end of
about
the
this
but this
one.
was the one I really wanted to get your thoughts on and everybody's thoughts on. So recently news has came out that Marvel Studios has subpoenaed Reddit in federal court to track down the person who leaked the entire script of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania a month early.
Congratulations! Sorry, I had to do that because, like, that's the congrats to them for messing it up.
Oh yeah. But I remember when that had happened, and like I think it was like the subtitles or something. Somebody was like changing the subtitles, and the whole thing had leaked on the Marvel Studios
whole script,
spoilers.
Right?
Yeah, and them going after them to me is like that's a big deal. I feel like people have said like Kevin Feige that is not the biggest fan of leaks.
I mean,
from
why
films,
would he
obviously
be?
Right? Why would he be?
That's his money.
But like to me, this feels like a opportunity for them to kind of like make an example out
like
of
sick on it, like go get him.
Yeah. What do y'all guys think of this? Because I know like the leaks and the rumors, you can't escape it. You're into this stuff, like it's gonna find you some type of way.
I'm about to say,
floating on the timeline.
I
and stuff
like
like
had
that.
a question on top of it. Like, it's still going to exist though, right?
Sure, but I think it would change the way.
It's definitely gonna. But what even would that change be? That's really my question. Like, what is the change?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't know.
So to me, kind of like what this could lead to more of in terms of change, in terms of like what gets out. And I'll throw it to Garrett first for like what he thinks about it. But in terms of the process of how I think this could go, is like so often when people want to get involved in this like this superhero industry, so many people begin through the lens of like, man, look at Daniel RPK. Look at My Time to Shine. They leak things. They got all these followers. I want to get more followers to build my brand. Like that's the spot I want to get into. And then they eventually start writing for an outlet. And when they start writing for an outlet, they realize, hey, we're not actually allowed to leak things, even if you know them, because we deal with these studios directly. They give us screeners. They invite us for interviews, all these things like that. They won't do that if we leak things. And so then people stop. And so I think what this is trying to do is to kind of show like, hey, people can't remain anonymous. If you're trying to do this, like we'll show, this is like how we show we can figure out who you are, just to try and calm that a little bit so that it is the stuff that gets leaked is only the stuff that they want to get leaked. It's in promotions, it's stuff like that, as opposed to obviously like, hey, here's the whole script for a movie 2 years before the movie's out.
Right.
Honestly, yeah, I hear you. I do feel like it almost sounds like they're going to tighten up the whole culture of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, even before this news that came out, it was stuff that came out, them starting to restrict who sees movies early, like the early screenings and things of that nature. So it does feel like they're really trying to tighten the whole thing up. Like, yo, you can't, you gotta, you can't
more NDAs.
more NDAs. Yeah.
But yeah, Garrett, you go.
I don't really have much more to say about it. I'm glad TJ went first. He said it again more eloquently than I would have said, because yeah, I mean, I think he hit it on the nose. You quickly find out that you can know things, but you can't necessarily tell those things, and I think that's a good thing. I think
I agree.
I think the culture, I think essentially scoop culture became like the online paparazzi. And it's just like, it's just like kind of a scummy way to make a living in the grand scheme of things.
I hear you though.
And there's a difference between the Reddit leaks of like full plot, full script, full like images that leak cameos super early on, stuff like that. And someone from a major trade seeing an early premiere and coming out immediately tweeting, like X person is in this movie.
Right.
It comes in different forms. I think really the only thing that should be okay moving forward is sanctioned by studios to like generate hype and like this is. But I also will say on that, it is very gatekeepy in that way. I wish that like more people had access to break those exclusive news things
via the same conversation that we started the podcast with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Correct. And I'll say shout out to One Take News. Is that correct? Big Screen Leaks, BSL. Who does a pretty good job of getting those verified studio exclusives as a small, an individual person originally.
And BSL does that the right way too, and that's similar to how like Daniel RPK will do it now as well. Is he's like not dropping stuff on a Reddit thing, know what I mean? Like BSL finds out news, he finds scoops, and then he contacts the studios and says, hey, when can I publish this? And then they give him a date when he can publish it. So he's still finding out the stuff. And then as opposed to posting it on a Reddit for millions of people to see, he contacts the studio and then finds out when he can talk about it. And like, I think that's you'll never plug all the holes, right? You'll never plug all the holes. And I think that's okay. But if you can shut down a channel that immediately is going to tell millions and millions and millions of people what is happening in all of your movies, that probably is for the benefit of the company. And like, I think like even Garrett is a perfect example of like, we host a podcast talking about these movies. Garrett knew like a ton of the stuff that was going to happen in Quantumania for like a year. He talked about it on the podcast 0 times. He posted all his stuff on Reddit 0 times. Like, just do that. Just be that way. And then you don't have these problems. But when all of a sudden it's like, you're posting an entire script for millions of people to see. I mean, that probably cost them a few $1 million. Like that probably affected the box office a little bit.
True.
I definitely think.
Yeah, it comes at the point of they're doing it to like start like a brand or a career off of it, not like it's a malicious intent. It's not, it's selfish. It's not for everybody else. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. It's a deep subject, It's definitely. But sorry to cut you guys off. I'm curious about your thoughts.
Oh no,
you're all good.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I was just wondering, like, did the performance of Ant-Man Quantumania, like that drop after the weeks of as it been out there, it was like the lowest drop in MCU history, or something like that. As far as like
second week as well.
Yeah, something like that. And I wondered, did that push them to take that action? Because it's like maybe this contributed to people not being excited for it.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it definitely did do that. So maybe they did. That is the reason, Like, look, I like getting the leaks and stuff too sometimes, but also I'm like, damn, I'd rather not know this. Yeah. I'd rather not go down my timeline and be like, oh, a movie that I was excited for that comes out in 3 years, it is now ruined a little bit.
Right.
it doesn't ruin it when I go see it. Like we knew stuff about Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Same thing that you said about Garrett seeing it for Ant-Man. Like, but it didn't ruin it for me, right? But that's not everybody. So it's just like a lot. And I also feel like a lot. Leaks were getting crazier in the last couple of years. Like we see pictures of the concept art. That's crazy. There should be no reason I see a scene that doesn't happen in this movie that has very famous characters in it. Like that don't even make sense. That I, as a random person, get that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I'm honestly kind of happy about it. It'll be sad to not hear like, oh, cool stuff, but like I'm cool. I'd rather be more excited to go see the movie.
I feel like that would change people's like. Imagine if we didn't know Andrew and Toby.
Didn't know it all. We said this every day,
and we went into that blind, or like at least with more of an inkling of doubt.
That's what I'm saying.
Than we did going into it before.
It would have,
It would have probably changed.
They would have made more money.
Not that it hurt me because obviously that movie was great, but it's just like imagine that. You know what I mean? But
yeah. We'll see what it does.
I can't. I literally can't. I would shriek in the theater.
Right. If you're saying if you didn't know, right? Oh my God. No, would have screamed. I would have stood up. I don't know what.
I would have stood up and started fist pumping. It would have been Endgame times 1,000.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I'm hypocritical because I talked about Andrew and Toby being in No Way Home the year before it happened. But like, if I could go back and choose now, as I've grown and learned things and realized that, like, yeah, maybe patience is a virtue. Oh my God, the experience of not knowing and finding out they were in that movie in the theater, it would have been the best thing ever. That's like one of the reasons I'm still going to see Shazam on opening night, but it's one of the reasons why my enthusiasm had decreased is because they revealed a major cameo.
Like, why did they do
in a TV spot? I was
like, what is that?
I avoided the TV spot, and then just somebody on my timeline,
Twitter. There we go. Me too,
I followed and then unfollowed after I saw this. They just like posted the video directly there and like full without like a warning leading into it. The character was just like bop right there, and I'm like, well, damn, now it's done. So that is something I think is like the reason I call it growth is because when I look back onto it, and I think this is very important into referencing Garrett's point on like the intent and why people do it. It's so often just for clout and attention, right? Because I think about for me now, and like I've always wanted a space to theorize. My brain's always going crazy. I always wanted a place to talk about things and get all my theories off place like that. And so before having this thing, before I had this outlet, I'd want to know all the leaks and stuff like that. I'd want to know all the leaks. Why? So I could tell other people about the leaks that I could get them as hyped as I am for this project. Because I'm so excited about it. I want to tell them.
That's real.
And looking back at like why I wanted to know all these things so early, it was so I could get more attention and more affection and people joining me in the things that I love. And now that I feel like I have this platform and a community to talk about all these things that I love, I feel like I don't need that now because my brain's going wild enough already that it's like, well, what if Spider-Man appears in Daredevil Born Again and this and this happens? I don't want to know that, so that when I go into the movie, I'm surprised. And the element of surprise in movies is something like that's so integral to superhero movies in a lot of ways, because so it's not just the same formula over and over and over again, but we are missing that now.
I was about to, I didn't want to, I know because we think about time and stuff, this could get deeper because I just think surprise, the concept of what a surprise is just going, it's not even movies. Like you can go into music to an extent. Like I think we talked about this off the pod a couple months ago, or whatever. I was just like, remember when Grammys or like award shows, I'll give Grammys for an example because people don't always watch the Grammys anymore. You know what I mean? Remember years ago, they would be like, oh yeah, B.O.B.'s performing. And then he pops up and it's like Haley Williams and Bruno Mars. It's like, and you had no idea what was about to happen. And that just broke your brain because you're not expecting this. Like that's going almost everywhere because we just hear everything now. Yeah. Everything is announced the second that it happens. So that's also a part of what we do. You know what I mean? It's the news. And like, I'm not going to be mad about it. It's just also like, damn, I wish I could be surprised every once in a while. That'd be nice. You know?
And I think it always comes back to like promotion versus confidence that like people are going to come to this anyways. And so I know they're going to be surprised. You look at like a track list for, if you have a rapper who is putting their very first album, well, if they get Drake on a song and 21 Savage on a song and J. Cole on a song, like that's going to be in big letters on the back of their track list. You got somebody who's putting out their 7th studio album and they have a couple Grammys. So often you're not even going to see the features on the track list. True. You're going to find out about them when you listen to that song.
A whole new experience too.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like Marvel's at a stage now where they're like, people are going to come to our movies regardless. I want you to find out about everything here. Exactly. I don't want you to find out about all this in advance because we don't need that. Mm-hmm. That hurts us. That doesn't help us.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess to answer your initial question, like, is Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania the reason that this is finally happening? Yes. But it's only the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right. It's like yes and no. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Icing on the cake. Yep.
Yeah. I definitely think they saw an opportunity here.
They were like, boom, this one. Yeah, that's the time.
Wow, this one actually kind of hurt us. So let's finally do something about it, you know?
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too. Like, it's just like you guys said, it's the final chip that fell. When somebody leaks an entire script and they were able to go, oh, shit, we found who did that. They probably always would have taken action if that was the case. You know what I mean? Like if anyone had ever done that and they found who did it,
that is very big. I never thought about how that's like. Yeah, it's the script.
Yeah,
like
no
what do you
time period that's in?
Yeah, they would have been there.
It's not with Sean McCoy tweeting "R.I.P. my dog Tony Stark." You know what I mean? Like this is the entire script of the movie.
I'm sorry, I can't even listen to you anymore because I remember when that happened. Thank God I saw the movie that day. Oh, I forget. Do you remember this? Yo, I didn't even because I'm not a big football person. I'm a basketball person. I didn't know that he's a player, right?
Yeah.
So everyone was talking about it. They were like, I just got ruined by the end of I was like, huh? What just? Oh, that's horrible that he just gave it to the world. Sorry. You just sent me back for a second.
This was like a shitty coincidence or if this was on purpose, but he spelled Tony Toney. So it went through everybody's muted tweets and blocked words.
If he did that on purpose, what a sick man.
People. I know, right?
I hope not. That was a bad time for them.
Do y'all remember I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, like the GTA 6 like code was leaked.
Yes.
And they found out who did it, and they went after that.
They did. Yes, they did.
It's kind of like
that's probably why we forgot about it.
Wasn't that like a 14-year-old or something?
It was. Yeah, I think he was like 16. So I think he was underage, but I don't think he was like that underage, but I don't know. Again, I don't want to speak out of my ass and spread false information. Right. But they came for him is the point. They came for him.
They're not playing. These are
there's
big companies.
Right. Yeah. And that's if they can prove, like there's a measurable amount of capital that was lost because of this situation or this action that happened, then they're gonna come for what's theirs for sure.
That's your ass.
No,
that's the American way, baby.
For real. He said that's America's ass. Look at that. Look at how Marvel goes full circle. Sorry, but all right, yeah, we killed that. That was fun.
No, definitely.
All right, so we have the movie verse. I was thinking you want to do 2.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. Yeah. Y'all want to pick? We're going to do, we don't want to keep y'all too long, but we have 4 movie verse topics. But I'm going to just say them because I think they're all pretty good, and y'all pick which 2 we should do. Thank you. Thank you. So you guys pick which 2 we're doing. So either Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one, correct? Yeah. Versus Ghost Rider, the original, the first Nick Cage one. Yeah. That's 1, right? Guardians 2 versus Deadpool 2. That's another one.
That's my vote. I'm just going to say right after that. I think that's the hardest one.
You get 2 votes. You get 2 votes. So cool. Harry Potter 1 versus Hunger Games 1, or Pirates of the Caribbean 1 versus
Matrix.
First Matrix. Damn, we kind of killed these.
Yeah, these were pretty good.
Do I have to pick a side to debate, or are we just like discussing?
You're picking the questions that we're going to ask for all of us, and then you're going to pick. Yeah, you're going to pick your side and say why. Right? Did I just say that weird? Yeah. I probably said that dumb weird.
The second half of that.
Sorry.
I didn't say why.
I don't have an answer for it. I don't have an aggressive opinion, but I feel like the conversation I want to have the most is the first Harry Potter and the first Hunger Games.
That is a crazy one. I like that. Honestly, cool. I'm voting that one too. So yeah, let's do those 2.
And I'm cool with that one also.
Okay.
So all right. We'll go first.
Okay.
All right. Which ones again?
With?
You go.
Guardians 2 versus Deadpool 2.
You go first.
Okay. So we can start with that one. Mm-hmm. All right. Guardians 2 versus Deadpool 2. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
two different feels, but also similar feel. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're cousins. They're little distant cousins.
Deadpool 2. Just because it's Deadpool. I'm a big Deadpool fan. I'm a big X-Men fan. Right. Anything X-Men related.
Question, are you going personal? This is how I feel, or what you think is the best movie? Because you can answer however you want. I'm just wondering what your
personal how I feel.
And that could be the same thing.
Right.
It could be. Right. Absolutely could be the same thing. Right. Absolutely.
Personally, how I feel, Deadpool 2.
Like you're picking that. Yeah.
Better movie, I might say Guardians 2, even though it's not the...
You just hit me. Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah,
that's mine. Yeah. I'll go with different just to give more of a reason. For some reason I just remember more of Deadpool 2. Don't know what that is. Could be good reason, could be bad, but I feel like both of them didn't do the thing that we got in the first one, but still gave me enough to be like, I like this, and I'll go back and watch it. You know what I mean? But they're not my favorite of their series, you know? Yeah. But that's why we picked them too. But right. I like both of them either way. And also we got the introduction of Mantis and Guardians.
Yeah.
I ain't hate it.
Yeah. Garrett?
Yeah, I think this is this is a pretty comparable one. And that's why I wanted to pick it, because I feel like you can make a pretty good argument for either of them, right? And be like satisfied. Personally, I think Guardians 2 is both my favorite and the better movie. But I will agree with the sentiment that neither of them is as good as the original.
Right.
They're both
it's hard sequels, with those two movies. Sorry. Yeah, not even to cut you off. Like
any sequel,
exactly. Especially those two, like Jesus. Like the first Guardians and Deadpool are very classic to a lot of people. So I hear you.
Are almost perfect movies to a lot of people.
Yes.
Movies that both had to be successful.
Ooh, talk that talk.
In all honesty. And both were. And I think both are admirable sequels. They're not like super distinguishably worse, but they are worse.
I hear you.
I would rather watch Guardians over Guardians 2 and Deadpool over Deadpool 2.
Right.
But I would love to watch all of them.
Touche. Yes. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Killed that.
TJ.
Yeah.
I think Guardians 2 is objectively the far higher quality film.
Yes.
All of my issues with Guardians 2 are me issues. The humor just doesn't work for me in the second one. I feel like it's overdone. I feel like Drax the Destroyer is a nerfed character that only exists to be a punchline.
You be saying this too, especially in that one too. Whew. Yeah, I hear you.
Exactly. In the first one, he was, oh God, this guy's going to kill us all in the prison, and none of us stand a chance against him individually. And in the second one, he is just the butt of 100% of our jokes, as opposed to just some of them. Having said that, the plot makes sense. It connects things to the first one. It is so emotional. The acting is phenomenal. I just didn't personally like some aspects of it, but I don't necessarily think it's flawed. It just wasn't for me. And then in terms of Deadpool 2, I think it has flaws. I think basing your entire movie plot around the fridging of the main female character from the first one is probably not your best method of storytelling for the second one. I think going straight
but they called it out. Doesn't that make it okay?
I hear you too. I was gonna, but like no, it makes it a little bit, but that's
it doesn't. I make it like
no validity though. Yeah.
And so that, and then just like you're going straight to time travel and very loose, weird plot holy time travel. The one thing I will say about Deadpool 2 is I think like the humor landed for me a lot better than it did for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought Deadpool 2 matched Deadpool 1, not in story, but in humor.
I agree.
And then
might be fun.
I also think Deadpool 2, outside of the whole fridging plot, I think the time travel aspect and how it ended is going to go is going to age a lot better with what is likely to be the plot of Deadpool 3, with them just going through the multiverse and finding a bunch of Wolverines, finding a bunch of X people, hopefully just killing the Fox first.
Right.
And can you just imagine if it ends with them going to the Logan universe and then being just like, no, we're not touching this one. But then also like finding out that like Laura is going to be our Wolverine in the main MCU universe.
If that happened, I would break down, cry tonight. Don't do that. Please stop. I love that.
Start the MCU with Old Man Logan and have X-23 Laura already there.
That would be so hard.
That would be crazy.
Why did...
I
to get in contact with Mr. Feige
because I'm just like, I'm getting excited about it. Exactly. And so it's like, to me, I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is the better film, but I enjoyed Deadpool 2 more.
So I think that was all of us, besides Garrett, Guardians 2 stan.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, we ain't hating, man. You love what you love. Yes. Oh, the mic. Yeah. So what's the last one we doing?
The last one,
Harry Potter, right?
That is
an interesting one.
First Hunger Games one. I can go first because
I was about to say we might gotta go because they might smoke this and I'm gonna have no answer.
That's what I'm saying. Mine is quick because I haven't seen the first Hunger Games movie.
So what the hell is happening? Why do we even make what?
I do.
You better go home tonight. I don't, bro. What is he doing? I was gonna
say Harry Potter by default.
You're so mean. All right, you can keep that, but nah, bro.
No, I am aware.
You gotta
how
go.
Good,
all right,
I'm
you do
aware
know,
how good it
right?
is. I just never got to it.
Damn,
you feel me? But
you gonna need to do that. What are you doing?
I know.
Do you? You didn't just watch Creed. You told me you didn't watch Daredevil 2 months ago. What's going on? What's happening with you? You were just late a couple years ago.
I'm catching up, man. I'm catching up.
Yo, I'm gonna be mad at you. You don't watch Hunger Games soon. Right? What are you watching? Just Last of Us. Just Last of Us. Mandalorian, right?
Mandalorian.
That's it. You just watch it and you just making beats.
Other stuff that I will vaguely reference, but never specifically states.
Right. I'm so bad about this. Jesus, you need to watch that film. It's good. Anyway, but I hear you. That's about. Do you want to? I'm gonna say you don't got a reason. You're just like,
even.
Damn,
you know
that's so mean. They already got a vote. Okay, I'm gonna go next because again, I think y'all probably gonna kill your reasoning. And I'm like going off the walls right now. Harry Potter 1 and Hunger Games 1. Whoa, again, different feels though. Completely different feels on this one. Like I'm definitely not getting the same thing that I'm getting in either of these movies. One, I'm like, they dying, and the other one's like,
I'm gonna keep it a minute. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed Hunger Games more than the first
think
Harry
you
Potter.
would've.
Because the first Harry Potter is not my favorite one.
You're right
At all.
Right. It's a good intro.
I could never watch it.
Right.
If I don't have to watch it,
you be dissing it a lot though. Jesus,
it kicks up on 4.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Like, damn,
4
is 4.
4 is amazing.
Nah, 4 is crazy, but my man really was just like, not 1 but 4.
3 is cool too. But
nice.
Everything 2 is good.
I love 2. I love 2. But whatever.
I'm giving my answer right now. I'm giving my answer right now. I turn. It's the Hunger Games, and here's why.
Oh, you ready?
All the reasons you guys said.
Nah, that's real though.
Harry
Come on.
Potter gets better
later.
Each one.
Yeah.
Now I like the first one more than the second one. But I feel like depending on who you ask, I don't like spiders. I really don't like spiders.
I hear that.
I hate spiders.
You said that, and I'm cool. I hear you.
Again, I think objectively you can say Chamber of Secrets, better movie.
That's what I
just liked the first one better. But they get depending who you ask, it'll be a graph going up and down a little bit, But as a whole, the quality of movies gets so much better as you get to the end than at the start. The Hunger Game movies progressively get worse.
That is kind of true. Never thought about
that. They get worse and worse each time. The first Hunger Game movies is really damn good. It's so good it made Jennifer Lawrence a worldwide star. It increased the sales of all of the books tenfold. It's made us all want this entire trilogy of movies, and not just trilogy, but turned into 4 because we're going to split the last one in half, just like we did Harry Potter. And because of it, that last one was trash.
Oh, snap. You hate it?
Oh, so
no. You mean the last out of this part 2? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. It was a little slow burn.
Whereas, part 2 and Deathly Hallows Part 2, you can argue that is the best Harry Potter movie.
You're right.
It's just so good. And I think one of the reasons why is because, J.K. Rowling is a TERF and she sucks, and I don't want to support her in any way. And that's why I still haven't bought the Harry Potter Legacy, even the Hogwarts Legacy, even though I really want to play it. I'll wait until I see it used at a game store, so somebody else bought it, and then I'm just supporting local business as opposed to supporting her. But the books were great. There's a reason why so many people love them. They're not for everybody. They have qualities of them that suck in terms of the caricatures that some characters are, the racial caricatures that some characters are, but the plot, the story, it's great. And when they split Deathly Hallows into 2 parts, when they made Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince these long-ass movies, they gave us everything from the books in these movies, almost everything from the books. They nailed what was the most important parts by the end, whereas they hadn't at the beginning. At the beginning, like you ask any people, like the first Harry Potter video games on GameCube and PlayStation that were so much fun. You ask people like, oh, like what were some of your favorite parts of that game? They're like, Peeves. Peeves was so much fun. Peeves was my favorite part of the book. He was so crazy. And then he's not even in the movie. And there's so many parts like that from the first one. And there are throughout, but Harry Potter gets better and reaches the mountaintop at the end, whereas Hunger Games starts out with a banger and then just goes like crashes.
I love that you said that, TJ, because Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is like the first movie that I can like, I have, not that I ever saw in theaters, but I have like a distinct memory.
I hear that too.
Yeah.
That.
So I went with my family and I started reading the Harry Potter books in first grade. So this is like a very nostalgic thing for me. And then I caught up to them and then went to like the midnight releases at like Barnes and Noble from that point on. So I was like a big Harry Potter kid. Yeah. And I lost my train of thought. Gosh darn it.
That is okay. Do you want us to just you want to wait on it?
You know what my second one was? Or wait, what year did Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone come out in theaters?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a trivia one.
2003, maybe 2001.
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3
around that time.
Oh, 2001.
Is it 2001?
Wow, started at
that also was my first moment of that in theaters, Garrett, and it was followed very closely by the second time when I was 9 years old going, why the hell are the webs coming out of Tobey Maguire's wrist? He's supposed to have web cartridges. This is bullshit. And I'm 9 years old, just pissed off.
So that's where I was going. I literally stood up in the theater and went like, he does like the trials at the end to get to they have to go through like the chess game and the whatever. And they go through with the dog with the multiple heads and the flying keys, all that shit. And then there's one final test where he sucks at potions. That's like the whole theme of the first book. He just can't do the potions. And the final test is like a potions test. And he nails it and then goes on to and that was like so sick. And then in the movie, they beat the chess game and he like goes on and I'm like, no.
It's like, I need my potion. What the hell is going on? I need my chemicals.
And I yelled, that didn't happen. And my family was like,
you're like, what? You're like, what got into you?
Exactly. Like, oh man, he's passionate about this. We should foster his love of books. No,
Garrett's whole family's looking at him like, what the hell? But then Anne Marie Blaney sitting there like, we need to get this kid a podcast.
18 years from now.
Look at what that did. That moment.
Right.
Yes.
So that goes without saying, Harry Potter #1 for me. I just can't get behind I know there's some kid murder in Harry Potter too, but there's just a lot of kid murder. Not
that I'm laughing at that, but like true. That is the story though, right? I guess like
all of them. Like not all of them for sure. Some of them were very sad, but like most of the people who got murdered, you were happy about.
That's also, which is horrible. But in the movie context,
happy about kid murder.
That's true. But this is a funny conversation because in context of the movie, so true. When you think about it outside, it's like, oh god, that's horrible. But like,
I know that's a very reductive statement about.
They're so mean though. I'm just kidding. They are mean in the movie, just so you know.
That's a good warning.
You know? I just could never get into. You know how like people are either Star Wars or Star Trek, and like very rarely are people both.
Right. Wait, what's the Hunger Games comparison though?
I don't know if there's a Hunger Games comparison. It's just the fact that I can't get into it.
One last question on it. Did you watch it and you were like, no, kids, or did you hear like, there's some kids getting killed in here, and you're like, I'm not stepping in.
It when it came out, like I'm pretty sure I've seen like the first 2.
Oh, so you got into this and realized this is too much.
I watched the first 2 and I was like, this is
I'm gonna dial back on the children.
Not my thing. I'd rather watch like the Most Dangerous Game kind of thing. Like I don't know what there's been a bunch of equivalents, but there's one with like Ice-T, and he's getting like hunted in the forest. You know, the Most Dangerous Game where it's like you send someone out to like survive, and you like it's like a human hunting.
Is this like a reality show?
I'm gonna say, what the hell are you talking about?
Okay, yo,
Ice-T. In the forest?
That's an adaptation. It's an adaptation.
Oh, okay.
It's an adaptation of a short story that's like about rich people. They kidnap someone who has like no family or like no one will notice that they're gone. They take them to like an island and like they like let them loose and essentially hunt them. And then this story is like it's an adaptation. He doesn't go to an island, but like essentially the story is about the person who like survives the hunting and like wins and like beats them.
And that was Mr. T?
About, like, classism and everything. Yes, and it's so good. Goodness. But
I'm gonna go watch.
I got onto that, but you all should watch it.
I know, bro. You just told me Ice-T is getting hunted by rich people in the woods. I'm gonna watch it. You're not saying you didn't gotta give me a title.
Arrows and stuff, and like, oh man.
Oh my god. So okay. So there is a connection to Hunger Games.
It's hella good. Exactly.
Them arrows. Okay, I see.
I would prefer to watch that as opposed to like these kids who are like,
I'm still dead.
Poor kids against themselves. Like that's just fucking horrible.
It is pretty bad. It is pretty bad.
This adult man has a chance.
In theory, it's horrible. This is pretty bad. Yeah. What'd you say, TJ?
I'm still dead because when you said Ice-T in the woods, you said it in the exact same tone of voice as Jamie Foxx in No Way Home when he's like, in this universe or the woods?
That's one of the best parts too. Yes. Oh my god.
I was like,
because like just thinking about it, not seeing this film, so I can't imagine. I'm just plopping things in here. First, Ice-T. Just blackness and iced tea. Just like a dark space. Then the woods. I'm like, this is crazy already. Wherever we are, I gotta go. I don't want to go, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
You know, this is bad either way. This is mean.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look up the name of that. And
Please do.
I'm gonna get it for you guys. It's worth the watch. I promise.
Did you go? Did we go?
Yeah, I went because I didn't.
Oh shit, you were cheating ass. Right. You know what's crazy? I think originally I would have picked Harry Potter if I'm going favorite, just like. Same with what you said, Garrett. Just like memory going into the theater, seeing it. Yeah, it was wow. Like I remember that moment so clear, and I almost forgot about that until you said it. But then I really think about
surviving the game. By the way,
surviving
the game.
Okay.
Oh god, this title. I'm watching that tonight. You hear this?
Later.
Surviving the game. Yes, iced tea in the woods. But yeah, I think that obviously like the movie Hunger Games, just like again, like the quality of the movie is just crazy. It's too much. Too many stakes and children, and now I'm really thinking like I'm horrible. Watch this. Look what you did. Now I got to think different about my morals because of you. I'm just playing. But no, I mean I just think that movie's it's a little more epic than the first Harry Potter. If I go off of that series wise, it's really not a discussion.
About the first Harry Potter is that like the most important thing in that movie is the House Cup. And then it's just not mentioned for the rest of the movie.
So true. I never thought about that.
No, me neither.
It's like a big deal too. Like,
right.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of other much more important shit happens. That
I think that's part of like.
But they build it up, right? Don't they?
Yeah, I think it's like representative of like you grow up and you all of a sudden care about different things. But I just think it's hilarious.
No, let's not give her too much credit.
I'm gonna say you spitting, man. I almost had to say your name. I didn't want to. JK that.
And I do want to clarify: there is child murder in both. There's just less in Harry Potter.
It is also a lot less vicious, maybe.
Harry Potter is based on an attempted child murder.
There we go. And this next one is like, let's just see what they do. Throw them all in there. Let's just see.
Yeah, I feel like literally every single one is about him getting murdered. He's just less of a child every time.
Right, until we get to the end and he's grown.
Right,
basically.
It's like I'm not a kid no more.
Reducing most of these franchises to very minimalistic statements, but
when you put it like this, we should not watch movies anymore.
I spent so much time of my youth lifting up Harry Potter. I'm totally okay with tearing it down now.
Yeah, there we go. Right.
Yeah,
but nah, but we killed that. I don't think we need no more movie game. We're crazy. Talking about children.
Sorry to bring up child.
No, bro, you're correct, by the way. You made me feel different about myself. It's fine. Nah, man, but before we get out of here, we got to thank you guys because you are amazing. And yeah, you're the best and all that.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate
you guys so much.
It's so mutual.
Like it's more than mutual. I don't know what to say to y'all. It's annoying. You're so nice.
We spent an hour and a half recording, and like I feel like I could do an hour and a half more because this doesn't feel like a task. It's just hanging out with people I love. So yeah, thanks so much for having us on. You guys are the best.
Mutual, man.
And let us know what we can do to help promote you guys more, because like truthfully, I'm not just saying this because I like you guys, but like you guys are so. Can I are F-bombs okay on this?
Yes.
Like,
you can say. He be telling me to say less. I'm like, why? I curse.
So fucking good at this, like not just from like a knowledgeability perspective, but the production quality and your chemistry with each other. Like you guys are so damn talented at this. So like, let us know what we can do for you to help raise your platform more, because you got like, this is a phenomenal show.
Thank you so much, man.
And I know how to answer your question, but thank you.
No, for real. The line is always open, you know?
Cool.
Of course.
It was one of those things too, where we talked about like, hey, let's make some moves. And then we spent 2 months building a website that took forever. And so we could make no moves until that was done. So we'll be in touch.
Okay.
For sure.
But also just know we're bad at being in touch, because we both have ADHD and we forget things.
Also, so it's the same though. So it's like, yeah. We're realizing that it's just like, gotta attempt it, because sometimes we're like, oh damn, we should probably be like communicating with y'all more, or even in the group. But it's just hard, life, like trying to figure it out. We
exactly.
will
100%. Exactly. Yeah. It's not ever. It's just always like, oh shit, they're just right. They got a lot of shit going through their minds, probably. And same with us too. So.
Now we'll figure it out. We're gonna
for sure.
Of course.
But we super can't we can't even say enough words.
Yeah, we got to have y'all back on ours too.
Yes. Say the word.
Wait, before you even get out of here though, tell the people all the things, all the ats, the website, everything.
All right. Well, we have content pumping out. Like TJ just said, we've been spending a lot of time rolling out this new website. So shout out to Ruben for just working like an animal on that. It looks incredible. It's already been a great help to us. We've seen better numbers, and that's without the massive increase of content that we've been having on the site. So shout out to both Ruben and the entire Agents of Fandom team for really crushing the articles. If you're paying attention to The Mandalorian or Daisy Jones and the Six, or TJ's Got a Shadow and Bone season 2 review coming out later tonight, tomorrow. So we got content on all your favorite fandoms and all your favorite stuff on www.agentsoffandom.com. So of course you can find us there, as well as our merch, and we've got podcast pages for your podcast, our podcast, Fandom Academy as well on there. So check that out. And then you can find me on Twitter at Real Slim Blaney. I'm a pretty casual social media user. I'm mostly a one-way scroll, not really interactive guy. But if you shout me out, if you comment me,
like one day a week, Garrett just starts going absolutely off on Twitter.
That's true. That is so true. That is so true.
I'm trying to get like you, because I'm normally a scroll man. No, I'm trying to get like you. I gotta at least every now and then try to. I'm trying. Slide on.
Yeah. It's Agents of Fandom on all the socials except for Twitter. It's at Agents Fandom. YouTube.com/Agents of Fandom. And it's like Garrett said, this new website it's faster, it's sleeker, it works better. Ruben was so incredible, but don't let Garrett undersell the work he put in there as well, because he was right there alongside Ruben making that new website happen. I kind of always liked it when I describe our trio. The analogy I kind of always like to use is that we're like a restaurant, and I'm kind of like the serving manager. I'm out there on the floor and I'm chatting with everybody and interacting, but it's Ruben and Garrett who run our restaurant. They're the reasons why we have a restaurant that exists to be ran. And so they've been doing some incredible work on the back end. He's not just a pretty face.
I think it's more of a Venn diagram, and you're selling yourself a little bit short. But
look at all this love. Told you I got too nice. It's too much.
Right.
I mean, we're collectively good at cutting other people slack, but just not ourselves. So it's good to balance each other out.
That is so true.
It is. That's a beautiful thing. For real. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's Zen.
It is Zen.
It is Caesar.
It is.
This is Sound Gallery.
It is.
This is Agents of Fandom.
Yes, it is.
Goodbye.
Peace out.